Let's now talk about Keir Starmer, but I promised Isabel Oakeshott is still with me. I know we played this a couple of times last night. I played it especially for Tim Montgomery as well. So you saw Keir Starmer, again, he doesn't do human very well, does he? So he's trying to do the Christmas tree being lit up in Downing Street.
Trying to generate some excitement.
Yeah, and people said that his wife next to her, old Victoria Sponger, that the people said that she looked like she was a hostage. She looked so miserable. Anyway, you remember, folks, so you go, we're going to put the light on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yeah. Anyway, this is what the brilliant techies at Talk put together. You remember Thunderbirds?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It worked.
Thunderbirds are go.
Oh my.
As I said last night, the trouble is that under him, Thunderbirds are not go.
They're not go.
But you know, just before we move on, this was a window, in my view, into his tortured soul. So he's such a technocrat that here's his happy Christmas moment.
Yeah.
A little countdown, we'll throw the switch for the tree. The only thing he's worried about is, will it go wrong? So when he went, and then he went, oh, that was a nervous moment, and it worked. Great, you know. God, it was
so
all
wooden. It was so wooden, wasn't it? There's no spontaneity. There's no life about him. I just think.
My question to Keir Starmer, should I have the misfortune to meet him, I did watch it actually during the campaign. He came in here into this building. But shall I meet him again? I'll say, Keir, speaking as an outsider, what do you think of the human race? Right, let's move on to Keir and talk about the civil service blob. Now, he wrote in The Sun on Sunday, I'll tame the civil service blob to deliver...
Would you tame a blob?
They do need taming. I mean, they need things like, I don't know, to be told to come to work. But anyway, it turns out that he's so far from taming the civil service blob that more Whitehall types are working from home than ever before. He has got no chance of taming this lot at all. He's enthralled to them. He loves them. They're public sector workers. They can do what they like.
I mean, don't forget how close we came to a new piece of legislation which was going to ban bosses from contacting their employees after 5 o'clock or something ridiculous. You know, you're no longer allowed to email people after their working hours. I mean, what I find so mystifying is how the Prime Minister and his Chancellor think that their attitude to these things is going to lead to any growth. And clearly he thinks that if he just writes an article for a newspaper, that is somehow going to make him look like he's got the initiative, he's got some momentum going. It doesn't work like that. I mean, last week I think it was only last week or about 10 days ago, he did one for one of the Sunday newspapers and you know, he got such a kind of, you know, free advert from that paper, and it wasn't one of our newspapers here in this building.
Thank God.
I think it was either the Mail or the Mail on Sunday. They gave him such a free advert and it was just, I'll do this. Well, you know, you haven't actually done it, you know, just getting a free advert is
67 reviews and task force have been set up in 150 days.
Yeah, I saw that. That was a good story.
So that is a government doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, when politicians, as I was saying to Pete Barnes earlier, when politicians don't know what to do, they set up reviews and task forces. This government has set up 67, so make of that what you will. This guy, he won't tame the civil service blob. More and more, even more now are working from home than when he started as Prime Minister. He won't tame the blob because he loves the blob. That's what this government's all about, taking money from the private sector and giving it to civil servants and public sector workers.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that just means less gets done and on we go, and the country just gets more and more weighed down by people that are taking out of the system rather than putting into it.
Indeed. Now, we're going to go to break now, and we're going to talk about one of these sort of woke stories. I mean, a lot of them these days, they wash over me, you know, and I barely notice.
Because there's so many of them.
There's so many of them. But this one, it's a bit like doing that hotel. It's just a story that sort of exemplifies this syndrome that's bringing us down, this nonsensical wokery, this mad wokery that Donald Trump in America is putting a stop to. And on the basis that what happens in America happens here next, let's hope that at least when Starmer's gone, this nonsense will end. But just to trail the story, King's Lynn, historic Norfolk town, the English Heritage England, they're called, have set up a tour of this town, historic England, sorry. And this is important because we pay for historic England, it's taxpayer funded. They've set up a tour. It's queer King's Lynn, the King's Lynn Queer Tour.
I'm only surprised it's not the King's Lynn Queen's Tour or something.
Yeah, Queen's Lynn.
No, Queen's Lynn.
Probably shouldn't say that.
Why not? I think that's all right.
What the hell? But I mean, seriously, I mean, we'll talk about this after the break, but, you know, why do people want to go on a queer tour of King's Lynn? I mean, what's the point of that? Why not a tour of King's Lynn? I'm preempting the story now. I'm getting really worked up.